Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today I have an unboxing video for the Exo-6 1/6 scale Star Trek 7 of 9 figure slash doll. I have 4 of these other figures so far, as you can see here. I've got Q, Cisco, Janeway, and Tuvok. Love these figures. They're really well detailed. They look like the actors. They're really nice. They all have the right height difference between them. So, you know, if you're just looking at them, they look like they came right off of set, which is really cool. Really well done figures. So the latest one is 7 of 9. She just showed up yesterday. I have already taken it out of the box just to make sure everything was there, because there's nothing worse than trying to do an unboxing video and you find out that something was wrong with your figure. So I've already taken her out of the box once, but put her back so I can show you what she looks like when she shows up. So here is the box as it comes out of the package itself. Let me put that down here and kind of pan down a little bit so you can see it. So shows on there, as you can see, this one is the from the Voyager series, so all the characters on the side are Voyager. The Cisco figure up there, his packaging has all Deep Space Nine figures, characters on it, of course. So, and these are all figures they're going to be doing. They're doing the whole crew. I'm trying to get all of them. Unfortunately, I think the Doctor I might have missed, so he's probably going to be secondhand, aftermarket, and super expensive, so it might take me a while to get him. But the other ones, I'm getting them as they show up. So, on the side, you've got the United Federation of Planets Starfleet Museum insignia here, and then the Star Trek Voyager badging up there at the top. And then on the back, it just tells you what all is included with the figure. 30 points for articulation on the figure. And they are really good likenesses of the actors. Again, this looks just like Jerry Ryan. It's really nicely done. She has the purple jumpsuit, which is from the later seasons of Voyager. And she is pretty much sewn into it, just like she was on the show. You'll see that in a minute. The phaser rifle, the compression phaser rifle, the tricorder with a holster, phaser 2 with a holster, and a pad, and multiple hands, and the base to stand her up on. So with that being said, let's get her out of the slip cover here. So the outer shell is a slip case. I'll take that off. Put that over here. And then the figure herself is in this box. Get out where you can see just about everything in there. Some of the hands are a little covered, but for the most part you can see everything. But once you cut through the tape at the bottom here, take her out, and there is part of the stand on the underside here that will fall out. You take her out of here. But before I get into the figure, let's show this real quick. I'm not taking this out of the box just in case, but each one of these figures comes with a little card that you can attach to the stand. So if you ever get it autographed by one of the actors, you don't have to have them sign the figure or the base. They can actually sign this card. And then this card actually clips into the stand, so it has like their little stats and everything where you can see that, who they are, and it all looks like a, the typical LCARS layout and everything, which is really nice. A very nice feature to include. That way, if you have these really nice figures, you don't have to have them written on or something when you meet one of the actors. So it's a really nice touch. So something for the collectors there, which is super cool. Back to the figure here. So there's a clamshell design here. As I said, this little stand comes out from the bottom. We'll get back to this in a second. The figure is in here, so we'll take the little plastic cover off. There we go. Over there. And the figure's in there. Now when you get your figure, again, I have opened her already once just to make sure everything was okay and to kind of speed up this video because there was a lot of plastic, a lot of little baggies of cellophane, so it makes a lot of noise when you're doing a video, and it just slows everything down to open these little bags. So I've already taken those out of the baggies and gotten them out of the way. When you get yours, there is a sheet over her, a plastic sheet over her, a bag over her head. Most of the hands have, or the hands on her body have little plastic bags on them to protect them. So everything is very well protected in the packaging. But as I said, I took all that off for the video. So the figure is laying in here. It just comes right out. And it's a very solid figure, very heavy. She's not hollow or anything like that. It's a very well made, solid figure. So it doesn't feel cheap at all. I mean, there's some heft to it, which is really nice. But as you can see, she is completely sewn into this jumpsuit. So you cannot change her outfit or anything like that. She's completely sewn into it. Cisco over there has different jackets. So that jacket he's wearing, he can take off and have the vest, kind of the combat vest. So they're different outfits. So different figures have different clothing options. Q is pretty much in his one outfit, and that's it. Same thing with Janeway. But as I said, Cisco, because he has different looks, does have different jackets and whatnot, which is very cool. But Seven here, however, is in her jumpsuit, and she's in there to stay. And another nice detail is the fact that the jumpsuit is actually sewn into the shoes, just like on the show. It's all one piece, one complete cat suit here, from neck to toe. And she does have her heels too, which make her a little taller, but that's, you know, accurate to the show. She does have bendable knees, not super bendable, but somewhat bendable. So you can get a little bit of a move to her there. Same thing with the hips. The hips are actually pretty flexible on that, but the knees don't move a whole lot, but that's okay. It's more for posing purposes anyway. The hands are very posable. The fingers are not, but the wrists are very posable. And the reason the fingers are not posable is because there are multiple hands over here, which I'll get into in a minute. But she does have her Borg hand here with the little Borg bits and bobs attached to it. It's just molded into the plastic, and it rotates and bends at the wrist. The comm badge is really well detailed, but it is sewn onto the uniform. It doesn't come off. There's no worry about losing it. And as you can see, the likeness of Jeri Ryan is really well done. Looks just like her. The hair is plastic. It's not, rooted hair or anything like that. It's just plastic hair. But she does have really good detail on the Borg ocular implant there, and on the other one on the side of her head there. And then you can see in the back that, her hair is styled back into the way she had it on the show. But and even down to the ribbing on the front of her suit is really nice too. So you can see that extra little ribbing there. So let's get into the accessories on her here. Let me put her on her stand first so we can have her upright while we work on her. So in the packaging here, the stand is under here. There would be, again, this would peel off for protection purposes. And the stand is right here, just under the base here. Move that there a little bit. Put that back. And the part that holds her up is a little different than the other figures. If you notice, let me zoom in on them real quick. On the other figures, if you notice, they're actually held up with a little bar up the crotch, actually, which holds them in place nicely, and it blends in nicely into the suit, so you don't really notice too much the stand with the uniform there. Seven has this metal part here. Let me zoom back out again and zoom back down. There we go. She has more of a traditional doll stand, which holds her nicely, but the only problem I have with it is the silver metal kind of shows up against the purple uniform, whereas on the other figures it just kind of blends in. You don't really notice it at a distance. So it's a nitpick, it's a minor thing, but it's just one of those things. I'm not sure why they chose to do it that way. I'm assuming probably because of the way the figure would stand up better this way. That's my guess. She does feel a little heavier than the rest of them. The stands are really nice. They're kind of two-piece plastic, as you can see here, and they all look like a transporter pad for each one of the Starfleet people, as you can see there. Q does not have a transporter pad because Q doesn't need to transport. So this would just clip into the base here on any of these sides. You can see there's notches there, and then you can see the little notch right here in the middle. So just line it right up in between them, just lock it into place, and that's all there is to it. And this can move up and down a little bit, but really the lowest area is probably the best, because that way it'll rest on her hips and keep her in place. So I just found the best way to do it is to get her in with her legs first, and then just slide her down into position and get her feet straight. And then she's standing on the base. You can see she is posable at the waist, so you can stand her a little straighter than I had her here. So now she's much more straight standing up. So pan back a little bit. And you can see that she stands very nicely on the stand. But again, you can see what I was talking about with the silver. Just kind of sticks out a little bit to me, but it's not a big deal at all. But I'm just curious as to why they changed what they did. I mean, maybe they could have done a purple crotch stand instead of the doll hip stand here, but again, it doesn't ruin anything. It's just kind of an odd design choice compared to the other figures. The other figures, as you can see, also have holsters on with their phasers and their tricorders. She's no different. However, don't make the mistake I did, which was thinking that it just clips, it magnetizes onto her hips like they do. Those are all attached magnetically. Same thing for her. However, inside the packaging here, which I didn't notice at the time when I first got it, under this plastic, that was this little slot right here in the middle, and this is holding clips to hold the transporter pads together. So if you want to put them all together like they're on the platform in the ship, that's fine. And you've also got a little clip here to hold that autograph card in place on the stand. But underneath this, in another little plastic, was this belt with the magnets on it. So I was trying to figure out why the holsters were not sticking to her, because there's no magnets on her. And it was a little annoying because I thought there was a problem with my figure, and there's not. The problem is she needs to have her belt on. So let me take her back off her stand here, show you how to put the belt on her. And interestingly enough, the company actually has videos that you can watch. They have a QR code that you can download, an instructional video for the figure, which, you know, why would I bother doing that? But it is nice that they have that option. So anyway, the belt just wraps around her like so, just like, you know, the belt. There's two little pins that lock it into place, and I didn't show it real quick, but there's the magnets are actually on the belt here, as you can see. So you just line the belt up on her like this, and you can line the connection of the belt to the seam on the back of this cat suit, and it just blends in perfectly. So just like that. So it just looks like it's part of it, which is nice. And then on the front, it's just the belt, as it should be. And then, because she wears her phaser differently, the other ones wear them like a normal gun holster. She wears hers more across the front like a belt buckle. So hers clips right there like that. And then her phaser, I'm sorry, her tricorder holster, put her arm up for a second, will just clip on the side like that. And then, let me show you those things. So the phaser is right here. Packaging all the little accessories over here. So the phaser, there's a really good detail on the phaser too. Let me, so I can show that. So you can see the, you know, the firing button and the buttons to change the power settings of the phaser. So lots and lots of detail in these. And that just clips right into the holster here on the belt. Now it doesn't stay very well. It doesn't lock in place. So if you turn her like this, there's a good chance it'll bump and fall out. Again, this is not a figure to be played with, per se. So, you know, for a kid's toy, this would be not a good idea, but for an adult collectible, it's really nice. The other really good detail is on the tricorder itself. Let me show that. So the tricorders are super cool with the Exo-6 line because they don't flip open, but they're magnetic. So you can actually flip it around like that, and they can actually view it like so. I'm trying to see if we can get, there we go. And you can see the detail on it. I mean, it doesn't have legible words on it, but the figure, the characters and stuff around there, good enough that it looks detailed. It's not just a couple of splashes of paint. But with the magnetic like this to hold it in place, you can just flip it back closed, and it just has that same functionality. But it is two separate pieces, so it is just magnetically attached pieces like that. And then that would also slip into the holster right here. Come on, 7. Fighting with the magnet. It's easier to put it in the holster and then put the holster back on. So just put that right back there. Then clip that onto her like that. And there she goes. You know, ready for an away mission. Now, as I said, the hands, the fingers are not posable. So in this particular state, she's not going to be able to hold these items. But she has these other hands here. Let me show you the rifle first, actually, before I get to the hands. Here's the rifle. Also solid. And it has the bandolier strap for it too, so she can sling it across her back. It hangs a little loose if you do that, but it still looks good. But you just kind of wrap it over her head like that, and then just tuck it across like this, and There it is. But as I said, it hangs a little loose, but it still looks cool. So, and she can also hold it with these other hands, like I'm about to describe here in a second. So, she has these various other hands in the packaging here. So, there's 4 options plus the default one for each hand. So, her human hand, she has her hand here that would hold that phaser rifle, and that would just clip around the actual grip of the rifle, like so. And then she has a fist right here, as you can see. So if she wants to just slug somebody, she can. And then she has the phaser, the hand phaser hand, and I'll show you how that holds it. It's really well done. So let me take the phaser out. And the phaser would just go right into the hand, right where it should go, just tucks right in. Let me show that there. Just tucks right in as it should go. And the button, the thumb is right on the firing button as it should be. And it just wraps around the bottom correctly. Just really well done, really perfectly posed, perfectly designed to hold the hand, to hold the phaser in the hand. So really, really well done. And all the figures are like this. So that's a really nice touch. Put that back where it belongs. And then her last hand, I believe, is for the pad. It's a wide open hand. I think it's for the pad. It's too big for the tricorder. I'll show you the pad here in a second. I haven't gotten to that. Here's the pad. And as you can see on the pad, let me move her out of the way so it'll focus on the pad. Really nice touch is the fact that on the pad, she's studying a board cube. So that's a nice little bonus detail there, that she's looking into information on a board cube. So that's really cool. So her other hands, they all have the the Borg assimilation bits to them. So she's got this one, which I believe would also hold the tricorder or the pad. And that's what I'm trying to figure out. I think maybe the other hand, the wide open hand, might be for pushing buttons or something, because with her being right-handed, she'd be holding the pad or the tricorder in her left hand and then manipulating it with her right hand. So this is probably for holding the pad or the tricorder. This one here in the front is for holding the foregrip on the rifle. So she's holding it, like a two-handed grip on the rifle there. She has a fist as well with this hand. And then my favorite is the assimilation hand. She has her assimilation tubules out. Looks almost like Wolverine or something. But she has those out to, extract information from a computer, or, give somebody Borg nanites for some reason, heal them or something. But really, really well detailed on that too. It's hard to see, but they do have the little ridges on it all the way down. And to change the hand, it's actually pretty easy. You just pop it out of the wrist here, and then take the old hand off the little peg, like so, and then put the new hand on the peg, like so. There we go. And then pop it back in. And there we go. Now she's got her hand ready to extract information from a computer system or whatnot. Resistance is futile. But that is the Exo-6 7 of 9 1/6 scale figure. I hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed showing her to you. I'll put her back over here with everybody else so you can see how tall she is compared to everybody else. Just tuck her back into the stand here. Okay, and then I'll push her back, make a little room with everybody else here. There we go. Push her back here, and then we'll pan up, and there she is. Okay, and as you can see, she is pretty similar height to Janeway. She'd be a little shorter because she's wearing those heels. So if it wasn't for the heels, she'd be a little shorter than Janeway, but not much. Sisko and Tuvok are both much taller, and then Q is exceptionally tall, and he also has his fancy hat, which makes him even taller. But they are, as I said, all accurate to what the actors would look like if they were standing here in front of you, which is really, really cool. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you have any of these, if you started collecting these, if you have a large collection of them, or if you're going to start collecting them because of this video. Just tell me what you think. I'd love to hear from you. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Thanks for checking out the channel, and I will see you on the next one.